1, 2, 3, 4.
And this is the story about Wormville. And it's coming to you almost live actually. Welcome back to the Weedy garden. When I started this garden just after lockdown in March last year, I knew just a few things about gardening. One of them I learnt from my mother, and that was that earthworms loved to eat and lay their eggs in cow manure. A year ago, I didn't even know there was a difference between earthworms and compost worms. I figured that compost worms was just an earthworm that had found its way into my compost pile. I knew that worms were hermaphrodites, that is to say that they are both male and female, or you could also say that they're both the same time. But either way, if you look at it, there needs to be two to tango in Wormville. So when they tango, they both come away with fertilised eggs. And each little tiny egg, if the conditions are right, will hatch into a baby worm. If all the eggs hatch from one worm, you'll have 15 new baby worms. And they do that every 40 days or so. So you can imagine how quickly a Wormville can grow if it's looked after. So what's worm juice? Well, it's a mixture of three things. One is the water. When I first set up Wormville, I gave it about 4 or 5 litres of water to moisten the cocoa peat and the other brown stuff because that was pretty dry. Secondly, it's the juice from all the green stuff I put in, all the fruit and vegetable juice from rotting pumpkin and so on. And 3, it's the worm slime. It's not their wee, because worms don't wee. They can only poop, okay? Their poop is full of beneficial bacteria, the effective ones, and this is called worm castings. This stuff is great for your plants, I'm talking really great, because it's loaded with beneficial microorganisms. All the liquid that runs through the system collects these microorganisms, and when the juice comes out, it's full of them. It all gets mixed up as it flows through the system. Oh, it's nice. This whole system needs to be kept aerated. That is to say that it needs to be aerobic. It needs oxygen. As long as you don't put too much sloppy green stuff in all at once, then it should stay aerobic. The worms keep it aerated because they're moving up and down and keeping the airflow regulated. I have it nice and open and aerated from the top. If it doesn't get oxygen it needs, it'll become anaerobic, and so will the juice. That's not good, but I'll get to that in a minute. It's winter here at the moment, so what I did when I put all the ingredients in at once and made a kind of worm lasagna feast, it was okay. Because it's winter here. I was lucky. The heat could escape and the worms found that sweet spot of 37 degrees. In a moment I'll try to explain the best way to set up a Wormville wherever you are in the world, whether it's hot or not, but especially if it's humid. Okay. For the first 2 months, I've decided to keep circulating this juice for a few good reasons. As the population of worms is quite low compared to the volume of food, there's not such a high population level of bacteria in the liquid yet. It's primarily just rotting juice and water with a few thousand microbes per milliliter probably. I want there to be trillions of bacteria per milliliter. So for the next 2 months I'll just put it back. That keeps it moist and it keeps the liquid aerobic. And as the population of worms grows, the juice will get darker and richer and it will smell like a creek in a jungle. That yummy earthy smell. It smells like that when it comes out. But when it lands in the bucket, something changes. From the second it lands in the bucket, it becomes an anaerobic environment for most of them. In other words, it starts to go bad. After a week sitting in a bucket, it can potentially be harmful to your plants. So I keep running mine through the system every few days until I want to use it. So in a few more weeks, I'll dilute it 1 to 10 when I water it on the leaves and 1 to 5 when I water it on the soil. So just remember, if the juice has been dripping into a bucket for more than a week, it's probably gone bad. I would follow your nose. Your nose knows. So back again in Wormville, and I want to show you another way to make a successful bathtub worm farm, especially if it's hot where you are at the moment. If you wanted a way to get optimal worm survival, or better still, a thriving environment for every worm no matter where you are, then this is how I would do it. First, you get your bath. For a tub like mine, it's best to start with about a 20-litre bucket full of them. And it's best if half that volume is actual worm castings, because it's full of eggs. There will be adult worms and juvenile worms and eggs, all mixed together with poop. It's beautiful. You put them on top of a 4-inch layer of moistened cocoa peat or shredded newspaper or cardboard, and moisten it just enough so you get a little liquid coming into your bucket. Then just leave them without any food for 5 days. They need some time to settle and get back into the mood to eat and tango. They'll need some time to adjust, so just leave them there for 5 days. On day 6, then you can introduce them to food. Give them 3 to 5 kilos of food depending on how many worms you have, and throw in a few handfuls of the brown to make sure that it doesn't get too wet and soggy. Think of it like baby food. The more chopped up it is, the easier it is for them to eat. Do it again a week later and the same a week after that. So all in all, you give them about 3 to 5 kilos of food once a week. By the 4th week, they're probably about doubled in population, so you want to give them more food. So on the Monday of the 4th week, give them 2 to 4 kilos of greens and browns. And then do the same on Wednesday and again on Saturday. This is giving them between 6 to 12 kilos of food per week. And this is just sort of around about. You can just continue with that routine and the population will balance the input. Slowly but surely the tub will fill more and more with castings. And they breed more during the cooler temperatures, which means they'll eat more food as well. Actually, the more you go down the wormhole, the more there is to discover. Another little bit of interesting information is that if you have your worm castings, right, and you don't have any worms in them, you don't have any more food in it, it's just pure worm castings. That's really good for your hands if you get a cut on your hand or something. It's really good, heals really quickly, beneficial bacteria. But I have to fill this up 50 times with food, basically, before it's full of worm castings. All right, that's a ratio of like 50 times volume of food to 1 volume of worm castings. So I hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a nice day, and I'll catch you later.